Ooh, so you've arrived in Hollywood, you've sat in traffic on the 10 for over an hour and moved all your stuff into a studio apartment in Koreatown. Now, we discussed in the first episode why people all over the world decided to move to Hollywood during the turn of the 20th century. But when did Hollywood become the entertainment capital of the world? Movies were once king. At their peak in 1946, 80 and 90 million people went to the movies every week. That was about 60% of the entire United States population at that time. But 1946 tends to bookend the golden age of Hollywood. But just why was the movie industry considered to be at its best in this period, and why is this date so important? In this episode, we're going to examine when Hollywood rose to the center of the entertainment industry. This is the business. Hollywood became a thing around roughly 1870, but it became an empire in the build-up to the Second World War. This is often referred to as Hollywood's golden age, Early businessmen developed what's known as the studio system, controlling every stage of the movie-making process, including the production, distribution, and exhibition of their films. They called it vertical integration. Now, the studio system began in earnest in 1927, when Al Jolson uttered these immortal words, and cinema, was changed forever.
You ain't heard nothing yet.
Now, The Jazz Singer was the first ever talkie, or it was a sound film, and in very little time, sound pictures completely replaced silent films, just as the medium was hitting its peak. But Warner Brothers, now flush with cash from the success of Jazz Singer and other musical talkies, were able to acquire theater chains and studio lots. They became one of the big five, along with MGM, RKO, Fox, and Paramount. So look at it like an assembly line. Actors and directors were under contract, writers and editors were housed in rows of offices on the studio lot, cameras, filming techniques, and film stock were all standardized. Hollywood centered itself under the Hays Code and kept government regulation away from their businesses. Studios came to be known for house styles tied to genres, be it musicals at MGM or noir at Warner Brothers. The Big Five each owned theater chains and strategically rolled movies out across the country, even requiring distributors to buy packages of films in a system called block booking. Good luck getting Gone with the Wind without also shelling out for cartoon shorts, newsreels, and cheaply produced B movies with actors you've never heard of. Ultimately, they were in the business of getting movies made, producing as many as 350 movies a year, if not more. And many of them were really, really good films. Movies like Casablanca, Citizen Kane, and others were made during this time. And if you think that Avengers was better than Citizen Kane, you'd be wrong. Directors who had spent time toiling in silent cinemas rose to the occasion with talkies. Directors like Alfred Hitchcock and other British filmmakers came to America enticed by Hollywood's far greater resources. And Hollywood continued to thrive well into the Great Depression and World War II. The glamour of the movies offered both a cheap escape from reality, even as directors increasingly reflected American culture and politics. Take Gone with the Wind. It was like American Idol, as everyone was captivated by the search for who would play Scarlett O'Hara. And with inflation, this movie still holds up as the biggest box office draw of all time. Got war films like Sergeant York and many Shirley Temple musicals proved to be major box office smashes. Because Hollywood couldn't guarantee how long a movie would run in theaters or which movies would be exhibited, they could take more chances and offset any of their production losses. Cash. So what happened to the studio system? In 1938, the Justice Department filed a suit under the Sherman Antitrust Act, United States versus Paramount Pictures. They charged all 8 Hollywood studios of violating the act. It was going to be a showdown, the United States versus the big studios. Then a little thing happened. It's called World War II. They put the case on hold. But the war ended in 1945, we won, and by 1948, the act of block booking was completely outlawed and studios had to divest their ownership of theater chains. Well, we had a good thing going there for a while, and Hollywood produced some of its all-time greatest movies during this period. But that wasn't the only thing that led to the end of the golden age. The post-war baby boomers all moved out to the suburbs, away from the big city movie houses, and the changing landscape of first-run and second-run theaters contributed to the audience starting to rapidly dwindle. Did you get all that? Good. What's more, changing moods and tastes in the culture and in sexuality led to the demise of the Hays Code until it was completely abolished in the 60s. One of the big 5 production companies, RKO, you ever heard of them? No, that's the point. Boom, they collapsed. And then, of course, along came TV. Television. It wasn't long before TVs, television, were in every home in America. Why pay to go to the movies when you could see the same thing at home for free? Same thing. The movie studios at first thought that they could clobber TV in the same way they did radio, but they eventually took to working hand in hand with TV stations and experimenting with technology and more graphic subject matter in ways TV could not. Next time we'll go more into the rise of television and how these industries reacted culminating in the question, is Hollywood still the center of the entertainment industry today? This is The Business.